Welcome, everyone. Let's just dive right into this explainer. We've got a really special, incredibly insightful topic to unpack today. This explainer is actually part of our Parshat HaShavua and relationship series with Mazal Klein. For those who might not know, the Parshat HaShavua is the weekly Torah portion read in synagogues all over the world, and it offers this amazing rhythm of ancient wisdom that we can absolutely apply to our modern lives. Today, we're going to explore some profound ideas Mazal has shared about human connection, attraction, and how we genuinely see one another. It's a completely fresh yet deeply rooted perspective on how we build our romantic and interpersonal bonds. Let's kick things off with a phrase I'm sure we've all used or at least heard a million times. She finds favor in my eyes, or, he finds favor in my eyes. We toss these everyday phrases around constantly when we talk about dating, right? Think about your last conversation about a new crush. This is basically our go-to way of explaining that we like someone, that there's a spark, that something just clicked. It's culturally everywhere. But honestly, we put so much pressure on this idea of an instant spark. We kind of reduce the whole incredibly complex universe of human connection to a simple binary status. Either they find favor in our eyes or they don't.
But that brings up a really massive question. Is finding favor literally just an instant, purely physical phenomenon? Because we are incredibly conditioned by movies, TV shows, and let's face it, the rapid-fire swiping of dating apps, to think that finding favor is strictly a biological, natural attraction. We just assume it's a lightning strike, something that happens immediately in the blink of an eye based on a jawline or a smile, or it just doesn't happen at all. We treat it like this uncontrollable reflex. But Mazal Klein suggests there is a much, much deeper layer at play here, one that totally challenges everything we think we know about chemistry.
See, the problem is we usually focus almost all our energy on the surface. We obsess over eye color, clothing style, posture, and those quick 30-second first impressions. We've all experienced, or at least heard stories of, meeting someone who is just perfect on paper. They checked literally every single superficial box, dressed impeccably, looked fantastic, yet the date fell completely flat. Why does that happen? Well, Mazal points out a completely different reality happening in the depths. Finding favor isn't about an external checklist. It actually requires a profound ability to see what lies beneath that polished surface, to perceive the heart, the true intentions, the hidden sensitivity, and the fundamental good in another person that just isn't visible to the naked eye. So let's just completely redefine this term. Finding favor is not about what we project outward. Actually, scratch that. It's more like it is the ability of the person sitting across from us to truly see the good within us. Think about how paradigm shifting that is. We spend so much of our lives trying to be favorable, trying to project the perfect image. But when a woman says, "He finds favor in my eyes," it actually means that he succeeded in finding the favor and the good in her. And because he looked at her that way, with genuine curiosity and appreciation, she starts to see the good in him too. It's this incredible mirror effect. A real, unshakable connection isn't formed by being looked at. It's formed by being truly seen. And there is something absolutely magical about a look from someone that illuminates you. It's a powerful gaze that sees beauty in you even when you're feeling completely unsure of yourself. It validates you in those raw, vulnerable moments when your confidence is totally tanking. It highlights the good you might not even see in yourself yet. Look, dating can be an exhausting, super vulnerable process where we constantly guard our flaws. But when someone feels genuinely seen and illuminated by an empathetic gaze like that, their natural psychological response is to just drop the guard. The walls come down, and the desire to truthfully, deeply connect just blossoms naturally. Okay, let's put this into a real-world context. Picture a first date. Initially, it's pretty unenthusiastic. Zero fireworks. We've all been there, right? Sitting across from someone, politely sipping a drink, thinking, yep, absolutely no chemistry here. But then, the dynamic shifts. The man actively leans in and listens. He stops worrying about being impressive and starts actually paying attention to her world, noticing her unique sensitivity. He makes a point to genuinely compliment her inner qualities and character traits instead of just throwing out a generic compliment about her outfit. And the result of that active, attentive listening? Slowly, organically, a genuine spark of connection is born right there at the table. Suddenly, out of nowhere, she finds herself saying to her friends the very next day, there is just something about him that attracts me. Now, I really want you to think about this. What actually changed here? Did his physical appearance magically transform in the middle of dessert? Did he become objectively more handsome over the course of an hour? No way. What changed was his gaze, the feeling he gave her that there is someone sitting across from her who recognizes her worth and sees the good in her. That validating gaze changed the entire atmosphere and created a powerful, undeniable magnetic pull.
Which brings us to a super profound realization. This isn't just about dating mechanics or relationship hacks. It's a fundamental human need. Deep down, the deepest prayer of every single one of us is to be seen beyond our fears, our insecurities, and those massive protective walls we build around ourselves. We all desperately want to find that person who will look past the carefully curated exterior, identify our true, authentic grace, and actually help us rediscover it for ourselves when we've forgotten it's even there. It's really about finding a sanctuary in someone else's perspective of you. And here is exactly where we beautifully anchor this psychological concept right back into the Parashat HaShavua. There is this ancient, incredibly beautiful blessing. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. In Hebrew, the word for gracious, vichaneka, shares the exact same root, ken, as the word for favor or grace that we've been talking about when we say someone finds favor in our eyes. It's literally talking about a divine, illuminating gaze that uncovers hidden beauty. And the most empowering part is, this divine gaze that brings out our inner grace is something we have the profound power to bestow upon each other in our everyday relationships. Of course, when you present this whole concept, a very practical question comes up from Mazal's clients. Okay, Mazal, but can we actually work on finding favor? People get so worried about this, especially with the fatigue of modern dating. They ask her if it's not something I feel straight away. If there isn't that instant spark in the first 5 minutes of meeting, aren't I just wasting my time? Isn't it just a lost cause? And honestly, it's a totally understandable anxiety when society constantly tells us that love should be effortless and instant. Well, the answer is unequivocally yes, absolutely. It is not a lost cause. We literally have the power to influence our own gaze. We can actively choose to look deeper, to stay present, to ask thoughtful questions, and to intentionally seek out the good in the person sitting right in front of us. Attraction can absolutely be cultivated. By choosing to shift our focus from some superficial checklist to genuine curiosity, we not only give them the immense gift of being seen, but we create the space that allows them to discover and reflect the grace within us too. So, if this explainer resonated with you today, you are invited to contact Mazal Klein, a coach for marriage and happy relationships who accompanies couples for closer communication at the cell phone number 052-328-6037. Once again, that number is 052-328-6037. Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with one final thought to carry with you. Think about the people you're going to encounter in your life today. Whose hidden good will you choose to uncover with your gaze? Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next explainer.